Hi, my name is Autumn White, and I'm doing my final project for Ed Reading 204, Section 3. We had 5 questions to go over. The first question is, why is it important to help children see a purpose for reading and for personally valuing reading? I read in the book, on page 5, it says there's a difference between reading and real reading. And students have learned to hate reading. And it's just simply by the way that it's taught, it's not engaging them. Reading aloud is critical. I think that's where we can catch the student. It's also said in the book how it's an advertisement, how reading is now competing with sports, it's competing with gaming devices, phones, social media. So by reading aloud, we can really hook them and find something that our students are interested in that leads them to want to read more. So I'm opening that up to more experiences with literature. So we give them a variety of literature is extremely important to their success also, because reading is just not about your reading or literature grade. By increasing your reading ability also will increase your test scores and help you with everything else in school. Question 2. What are some things teachers can do to help children see purpose and find more value in reading? I like to find a book that my students can relate to. So if I have a classroom of students that I know like baseball, I can find a book that has tells a story about baseball, but relates to other topics. Like you could talk about bullying or equal rights, acceptance. So it's a baseball story, but the theme focuses on bigger topics that children are working through. Also, I like cross-age reading. If I have a younger classroom, I like to have older students come in and read with them. They make a buddy, they have a friend, they feel comfortable with this person, and the older children are reading, and the youngers, as they get more advanced in their reading throughout the year, they can go into the older classroom and read to them. All students, I believe, read at different levels. They all have different strengths. So as teachers, we need to provide multiple strategies to get them involved and to get them interested in reading more. A couple that we did in class that I would use in my classroom that I really liked are Venn diagrams. We also did a character web. I like that. Any age, any level of student can come up with a Venn diagram, linking all of the characters together. The cultural X-ray was part of our text stub, but that could be done with any book to tell the differences of a character that you're reading about, how they're different from you. Well, how did you think they felt? Have you had to deal with that before? And then finally, the iMovie. May use that more for older students. My son's a 6th grader and he just did one over Miss Peregrine. I also like that. It's a way to present, and they feel accomplished when they create it themselves, and they're proud of their work, which also gets them involved. They have to look into the book to create the movie. Okay, question number 3 is, how can literature help us process life and encourage people to consider differing perspectives? Well, we should let books lead the discussion about hard topics such as bullying, discrimination, and even death. Students are able to work through issues if they're reading about it and reading how even a character, a fictional character, has dealt with something. They may feel a connection to that. And it also increases these students' appreciation for their own culture and that of others. So it's helping them develop socially. They're seeing different types of students, different types of characters, how they would deal with something that they may face in their own life. So we let books help students work through issues, and they also can talk about that, discussion about this is how, and wonder, this is how August dealt with it. Well, how would I deal with that if I had that disability? How would I feel? Okay, question number 4. What tools have you learned in this class to help you use literature as a tool to make positive change? I've learned many different examples. A lot of them I just showed you of what we did in our binders. And also the discussion is a very important element in the hands-on learning approach. And discussion in small groups, discussion with a partner, Discussion about how you felt the assignment went in all of the previous examples that I showed you, just talking about, oh, well, I didn't see that connection on that character web, or, oh, that person might have known this person, and this is how they dealt with it. The journals, I really liked the journals. I could see all students using a journal. And just writing down their personal feelings about how it was going. Sometimes I have a child that's kind of shy, doesn't want to share their opinion, but could write in a journal all day long so that I would know the student is engaged in the book. The student is keeping up with where we're at, but maybe doesn't want to voice it or doesn't want to share in front of the class. The text set also helped me to organize books that contain a similar theme. I can see using that in my classroom a lot. And just providing multiple books for students to read. So if you have fourth graders, then they may have 10 different books, but if they all talk about bullying, then they can also share in their own group. You can have a classroom discussion. Okay, well, here's how August dealt with this. Oh, okay. Well, in this book, this is how this person dealt with it. Now, why do you think they were different? What were your positives that came out of that? So they could discuss similarities and differences. Okay, question number 5. Discuss at least 2 literature response strategies from chapter 10 that you've tried in class and that you would use in the future. And what did you like about them? The first strategy that I chose was the I statement chart. We did it for Miss Peregrine when they were trying to revive Martin after they had found them in the fishmongers. I like the strategy because it can focus more, not so much on the whole entire chapter, not on the whole entire book, but you can take one little tidbit of the book and focus on that. What do you think everybody in the room is thinking right now? So it makes it a little bit more compact to focus on the smaller topic. I like that. I would use that to examine a whole chapter. I could use it to examine just a scene in the book. And then also they were able to talk about it. So my I statements were different than my groups from Brooke and Abby and Travis. They had different I statements on their paper because when I read it, this is what I was feeling the characters were doing. The second strategy was taking inventory. When we used the large white paper and we put them up against the wall, and you gave us 2 or 3 questions to go over, and then we answered them. It also caused our group to discuss, but then I liked being able to look around the room and we had the same 3 questions, but each of our groups were different. So we went from a small group discussion to a whole class discussion, and I could see using that in the classroom too. Both strategies, along with all the other examples that I had showed you, I would incorporate into my room and into my teaching of literature, reading, and any other subject we can discuss and work as a group. Thank you.